Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Pick Six podcast. We have another jam-packed episode for you today. I'm excited for all the content we're going to cover. We're going to be covering our Week 12 game predictions and picks, and also we're going to be giving an update on the Heisman race. I'm going to be giving my top five in the Heisman race. I do want to give a quick confession before we get started. I did have a very rough time preparing my notes for this show last night because I got engulfed in binge watching my wife's show, which is the Gilmore Girls. If you've ever watched the show, very addictive. She fell asleep, I got sucked in and was just binge watching. Great show, and I'm not ashamed of it. Anyways, let's jump right in. We're going to start off with our Heisman hopefuls, our top five. Starting at number 5, we have none other than Jeremiah Smith, the wide receiver at Ohio State. In my opinion, the best wide receiver in the history, going to be at least, best wide receiver in the history of sports, of football, whether that's professional level or college. I mean, Jeremiah, 6'3", 223 pounds, out of Miami, Florida. One of my favorite players to watch, obviously, as an Ohio State fan. And how could you not have him in the conversation? He is such a acrobatic, athletic, strong, just such a great physical makeup. He's such a great player. And man, he's made some great plays this year so far. Obviously, we saw how he did in his freshman season last year. Amazing. I mean, he had that clutch play to win the national championship, but it felt like he's been even better this year. Absolute stud. He's sitting at 65 receptions so far. He has 862 yards, so he's going to break well over the 1,000-yard mark. And he has 10 touchdowns with an average of 13.3 yards per each catch. So great statistics, and not to mention Ohio State has a lot of mouths to feed with Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis, a great tight end room. The running backs catching from the backfield. A lot of mouths to feed, and he's still putting up great stats. And not to mention, they are double and triple covering Jeremiah almost every play of every game. Every defense is using that tactic, and he's still catching the ball deep. He's still going up one hand, just actually insane catches. I mean, the Penn State game, he had that tip ball, one hand. Don't know how he caught it. Just an amazing play for an amazing player. Last week at Purdue had some great catches. I mean, every single week he produces. And man, how could you not have him in the Heisman top 5? I hope that he has a legitimate shot to win the Heisman and to be in New York. We'll see. I think he's definitely deserving, in my opinion, but we will see. Number 4 is Haynes King. Haynes King is a quarterback out of Georgia Tech. And man, what a player. Like I said last week, one of my favorite players to watch. This kid just puts the team on his back each and every week. He is the heart and the soul of this Georgia Tech offense. And if you look at his stats, it doesn't look like he's a world beater. Well, he only has 1,888 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 84.2 quarterback rating. But then I was like, something's not right. Only 9 touchdowns. And then I figured it out. I realized, I'm like, I know he's a dual threat. I know he's a great runner. He has 14 rushing touchdowns. And he could very easily, he's on pace to break 1,000 rushing yards this season. As a quarterback, 14 touchdowns already, rushing, and almost 1,000 yards. How could you not have him in this conversation? Now, do I think he'll win the whole thing? Probably not. But he deserves the credit. He deserves the respect. So we got Haynes King at number 4. Punching in at number 3, we have Marcel Reed, the quarterback out of Texas A&M. I believe he's a sophomore this year. He's having a great year. He's taken the team to a 9-0 start. Again, I don't think I've ever seen A&M get off to a 9-0 start in my entire life. So this is impressive. He's a great player. He's got 2,193 yards, 19 touchdowns, 6 picks. And I believe he has maybe like 5 or 6 rushing touchdowns as well, a couple hundred rushing yards. Great player, two-way. I mean, I was very impressed. I didn't really know a whole lot about Marcel Reed until week 1 when they played, when they played Notre Dame, and they dropped over 40 plus points on Notre Dame's head. Not to mention the game-winning drive to beat Notre Dame by 1 point. Absolutely stellar performance, and he's had a stellar season. I believe he's going to keep that up and get himself into New York. That's number 3 with Marcel Reed. Number 2, this may be a controversial name, or shall I say controversial placement of the name, but I'm just going to be honest with you. This is how I feel. Number 2, we have Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback out of Indiana. I've talked about him. Who doesn't know about him at this point? He's a great player. He knows how to get the ball to all the playmakers. And man, how could you not love this kid? He is so humble, so kind, gives God all the glory in all of his press conferences. Just really a great team player. And this is a guy that you want to date your daughter. This is a guy you want to lead your team. Like, he is such a stand-up guy, and he's even better on the field. He did a great job last week. We broke it down. He did an awesome job coming back in that absolute miracle of a comeback versus Penn State. They had one shot to win the game. He put the ball where it needed to be. I mean, man, he had the defense all up in his grill, and he was letting that thing go, getting it to his receivers on time and on target. I believe Fernando Mendoza will definitely be a great quarterback at the next level, and we are definitely 110% going to see him in New York as a finalist for the Heisman Trophy ceremony in December. Will he win it? I don't know. I got him at number 2 right now. The next few weeks, it seems like we're on a collision course with Fernando and the other quarterback who I controversially have at number 1, and that's Julian Sayin, the quarterback at the Ohio State University. In my opinion, which I get is controversial, you can disagree with me. That's fine. It's all love. Julian is my clear-cut number 1 Heisman contender. He is. He is such an amazing player. I mean, this is his first year playing college football as a starting quarterback. He redshirted last year, sat out last year, jumps in this year, and just takes it, goes on 10 immediately. He has an amazing completion percentage. Not a good, not a great, not like a very well, an amazing completion percentage at 80.9%, which is a historical number for college football and for football in general. And I know some people will be like, well, he didn't have that game-winning drive versus Penn State, and he didn't come back and have that particular Heisman moment. Now, my theology is I don't think he should be punished for not having to run the 2-minute drill versus Penn State. Why should he be punished for easily handling Penn State 38-14? Like, he's done this all season against every single team. I get the Texas game was his first game, and they weren't really letting him loose. But if you think about it, the entire season, the past 9 games, he has consistently been handling other teams, been smart with the football, accurate, on point, on target. He can get the ball where it needs to go, no matter what the play call is and no matter who the ball is going to. So, to me, yes, Mendoza had an amazing Heisman moment, right? But I believe firmly that the true Heisman moment is not having to claw back to win every game. Being so consistently dominant, consistently accurate that you are just hammering teams and it's not even close, like Joe Burrow type deal. Like you're on the money. You're all touchdowns, deep, throw the ball deep, accurate, 80+% completion percentage. Like, to me, that is what shouts Heisman. Mendoza, great player. We'll get to see them most likely duke it out in the Big Ten Championship. However, at number 1, we got Julian Sayin, and mark my words, he will win the Heisman this year. Julian Sayin will win the Heisman. I hope I don't eat my words, but I'm confident. I feel like he's going to win it. I feel like he's going to stay consistent, even against that team up north, even in the Big Ten Championship, and he's going to take the Heisman Trophy home. All right, we're entering into the next segment of our show, which is our Week 12 picks, breakdowns, and predictions. Let's start off with Game 1. You'll see it on the screen is Notre Dame, number 10, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at the 24-ranked Pittsburgh Panthers. It's a noon game this Saturday. This is an interesting game, interesting matchup. Notre Dame here, if you remember, they started out the season 0-2. They lost their first 2 games, and they are consistently on a 7-game win streak now. They have been lights out for the last 7 games. Their defense has had some struggles. They've had their issues. They're trying to work through it. Still not great, but they have a great offense. CJ Carr is a really good quarterback as a first-year starter. They have Jeremiah Love, some other running backs out of the backfield. And it's really hard for me to not drift towards Notre Dame in this game, especially given what Pittsburgh's coach Narduzzi has said in the press conference. I mean, man, no offense, but just an absolute boneheaded mistake. He goes out of there right out of the gate and says, I don't care if we lose by 100. It's not an ACC game. That, to me, in my opinion, that is almost shooting yourself in the foot. Like if I were to visualize that statement, what it means to his team, it'd be like holding a balloon and grabbing a pair of scissors and deflating that balloon before you even have a chance for it to thrive, a chance to succeed. I just don't understand why you go out and say something like that before a game. Maybe afterwards, sure. But before a game, you're trying to get your team pumped up. You're trying to be confident. You're trying to coach this team to victory. Like, you do not want to say something like that before the game. And I think that's really just going to be the story of Saturday. I think Notre Dame is going to put their weight on Pitt, and they're going to win the game. Sure, it might be closer at some parts of the game. I do think Notre Dame pulls away towards the end of the game. So I'm picking Notre Dame, final score 31 for Notre Dame and 17 for Pitt. Notre Dame takes the game. Game number 2, we have the 21 ranked Michigan Wolverines at Northwestern University, unranked. Now, Michigan, what's interesting is Michigan is a 10.5 point favorite in this game, which in my opinion, I think is way too much. That's way too many points. I think it's going to be a close, hard-fought battle. And, initially, when I looked at this game, I wasn't too excited. Like, I would rather go walk my pet goldfish than watch this game, initially. But then I heard Joel Klatt on the Colin Cowherd show, and he was talking about this, and he was like kind of beefing up Northwestern. And I started studying it a little bit, and I'm like, they're not that bad of a team. I think this could be a game. It's on the road for Michigan, and I just committed at that point. I said, I'm in. We're doing this game. We're breaking this game down. This is a game that most expect Michigan being the bigger brand, the bigger team, more well-known, more history there. People are expecting Michigan to go out there and hammer Northwestern by 30. I just don't see that happening. I just don't think that's the way this game plays out. I think this is a very close, gritty, tight game, considering Michigan was in a dogfight with Purdue 2 weeks ago. They won 21-16. They couldn't get out of their own way, and they couldn't stop Bryce Underwood could not stop committing turnovers. So I got a bold prediction here. Northwestern with the upset, taking down number 21 Michigan, possibly knocking them out of the playoff conversation. I got Northwestern winning this in a very, very gritty Big Ten style close game. Final score 21-20 Northwestern. Let's jump into game number 3. We have the number 12 ranked Oklahoma Sooners. They're 7-2 at the 4th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. This is going to be a great game. It's a 3:30 matchup. And when I sat back and thought about this game, it was tough. It was tough to decide who I was going to go with, who I was going to pick. I mean, you have Oklahoma, who plays pretty sound defense. Yes, they struggle running the ball, but they have an amazing quarterback. Probably outside of Haynes King and Julian Sand, maybe my favorite quarterback to watch. I mean, I watched him in week 2 at home versus Michigan, and his name was not John Mateer that night. His name was Clark Kent. He took the glasses off and he put his cape on and carried the team on his back. And that was a Heisman moment. We know the season has maybe taken a turn from there. He's got injured. He got surgery. Mateer got surgery on his hand. I still think he's an amazing player, and I still think he can pull some amazing plays out of thin air. I think this is a similar matchup. Both teams solid on defense, good quarterback play. Both struggle to run the ball at times. So I think it's going to be a very even, close matchup. I believe Alabama is a 6-point favorite right here. And guess what? I'm going with Alabama. Although Oklahoma's good, I just don't think they have enough offensive firepower to take down Bama with the way they're playing. Won 8 games in a row, sitting at 8-1. So give me the Alabama Crimson Tide. Final score, 27-16. Alabama covers the points. Game number 4, we have the Iowa Hawkeyes at USC. at the USC Trojans. This game is going to be in Southern Cal. It's going to be a 3:30 game. And you think Southern Cal, great weather, right? Sunshine. Like, I think about surfing. Like, I think about just on the beach, just cool vibes. Well, it looks like after Iowa played in the rainstorm last week, it looks like the forecast says there's going to be more rain. We'll see how it works out. Looks like there's going to be more rain. This is going to be a close Big Ten matchup. This is going to be interesting. Of course, USC is fighting for their spot in the CFP. USC is a 7.5-point favorite, which I think is very generous. I think it's too many points. Iowa is just so sound on defense. They can run the ball, and they might give the USC offense a run for their money. So I do not think USC covers the points. However, give me USC in the outright win. I think this is going to be a very close game. It's going to come down to one possession, maybe one or two, maybe three plays are going to define this game. Big plays. So give me USC. Final score 24-20. We have game number 5. Maybe my favorite game of the week and a game I always look forward to since this team joined the SEC. And that is number 11, Texas, at the University of Georgia, number 5 ranked Bulldogs. This is a night game in Sanford Stadium. This is going to be a 7:30 p.m. kick. This is going to be a great game. I mean, this could be a contender for game of the year. I guess we'll see how it plays out. Maybe I'll completely whiff and it's not that close or that great of a game. I think it will be. This is a matchup I always look forward to. You know, these two teams played in the regular season last year. We know the controversy, fans throwing everything on the field, didn't like the call. And then you have them rematch again in the SEC championship. Georgia beats them again. Now, how does this game play out? How does it play out? I mean, all week I've been thinking there's no way Georgia loses this game, right? There's no way they lose. They're on fire. They're playing really good football. They blew out Mississippi State last week. They've just been constantly cruising to the SEC championship. But then you have that version of Texas that just shows up in the most random times. Arch Manning has been a little on and off this season. He's starting to kind of get control of the offense. But then that version of Texas I was talking about, they just show up and they just win when they have to. When they're on the ropes, they win. Now, every part of me wanted to pick Georgia in this ball game, but I just can't. I just can't. With Texas fighting for their life in this game, like if they lose this game, there's a chance they couldn't get into the playoff at 9-3. They have 2 losses. This is kind of a make or break moment. If you want a guaranteed shot in the college football playoff, you have to win this game. So I think Texas on the road somehow, some way gets the job done and takes down the number 5 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. They win this game in a battle of touchdowns. I don't see a whole lot of field goals here. A final score of 28-21. Texas Longhorns continue. They win and continue to fight for the CFP spot. Game number 6, final game, is the UCLA Bruins, sitting at 3-6. Not a great record, not a great season, at the number 1 team in the land. You see it everywhere, the Ohio State Buckeyes. This is a night game in the shoe. This is going to be insane. It's going to be a ruckus atmosphere. I very strongly considered getting a ticket for this game and going. If it wasn't so late, I would be there. Now, something interesting is Ohio State is favored by 31.5 points. That's a big margin, right? If you remember last week, we were favored by 30.5 points by, in my opinion, a worse team in Purdue. I picked Ohio State to cover the points. They had it. And man, the second team defense let that last touchdown at the end of the game to ruin my pick, to ruin the points. However, I think Nico Iamaleava, this is his second trip to the shoe. If you remember him in the Tennessee uniform, it did not go great the first time around. Not at all. Ohio State absolutely shook him, hammered the Tennessee Volunteers, and I think it's no different. I think Nico, he can't handle the pressure of the shoe at night. It's an environment like no other in the entire country. So give me Ohio State easily beating the UCLA Bruins. However, I do think 31.5 points is a little bit too much. I think UCLA covers the spread. I don't think they win by 32 points or more. I see this being not a close game at all. It's going to be a final score of 35-7. The Ohio State Buckeyes win by 28, don't quite cover the spread. And we have our final pick, which is our bonus pick, technically pick number 7. We have the Virginia Cavaliers at Duke. Duke Daredevils. Blue Devils, sorry, not Daredevils. This is going to be a good game. This is a 3:30 matchup. Now, when I scrolled past this game, when I was looking through all the different matchups this week, I initially didn't have it on my card. I was like, it's ACC. ACC will be lucky if they get one team in the playoff, right? However, I had to throw this one in there because this has major ACC championship implications. And it's kind of sad to say that. Like last week or a couple of days ago when we did our last podcast, I had no clue that Duke actually had a chance at the ACC championship. They're 5-4. Like, should they be in that conversation? They really need to change the way they weight these conference matchups and who goes to the championship, because I don't care if you lose one loss in conference and you lose like 4 other games, you should not be in the running to be in the conference championship. It's just that many losses, like you're not a contender for any type of championship. No offense to Duke. However, what's even more interesting is Vegas has Duke favored in this game by 4 points. I think that's crazy. I know Virginia dropped a game to Wake Forest last week. It was embarrassing. It was definitely an embarrassing loss, but they're still ranked in the top 20. They're still only a 2-loss team sitting at 8-2. And I think they're going to win this game. I really do think Virginia is going to have the outright win. They're Duke's favored by 4 points. I think that's definitely too much considering Virginia will at least compete and keep this thing down to a field goal game. But I do think Virginia pulls it out and wins and keeps their ACC title hopes alive. I believe they cover the spread. Final score, Virginia 30, Duke 27. Well, that's going to do it for our episode today. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Have an amazing weekend, and God bless. We'll see you next time.